Welcome back to another episode of Who's On First. I'm your host, Dwayne.
And I am Jason.
And before we start, please like, comment, subscribe to the YouTube channel. We are trying to build a following. We're trying to get to 500 subscribers as soon as we can. We thank you guys for all the support, but let's get to it. The newest cover boy for MLB The Show. And in my opinion, the best sports game out these days is MLB The Show.
For sure.
Your boy, he is the face of baseball. Let's who gives a shit what Stephen A says. The face of baseball, Shohei Ohtani. What do you think about Shohei Ohtani being the new cover athlete for MLB The Show 22?
All right. So I am torn on this because I am a big proponent of the curse of anybody on cover games. And there's been a few people that have been on the show covers that has been trashed the next year.
Mm-hmm.
The but he is deservingly so it needs to be there. He deserves it out of anybody in the league. I think this is the right choice. But like I said, I'm leery of what's going to happen because if you go back to 2006 when David Ortiz made the cover, so someone on website thepitcherslist.com did a whole thing in 20 or of April 21 about like, hey, this is where their ranking system are, and I'm just going to go over a few notable ones. This guy has them ranked in the WAR pre and then post. So the only one that really stood up like that was made something of themselves was David Wright. He went the season prior to being on the cover, he was a 4.7 WAR, then after an 8.4.
Okay.
Now, when I started noticing was Ryan Howard. Even though he was only a 3.1 the year before, he was a 2.8 the year of he was covered on the cover. Then you have Dustin Pedroia, who was injured, and he
Mm-hmm.
went from a 6.4 to 7.1. Then Joe Mauer went from an 8.4 to a 5.7, and then Joe Mauer was on it 2 years in a row, and then he went from a 5.7 to a 2.1. And then you had Adrian Gonzalez, who went from a 6.2 to a 3. And then you had another big noticeable one was Yasiel Puig went from a 5.5 to 1.5. And then, but yeah, I'm leery. Like you have had a few, like you had Josh Donaldson who went down, but not by much. Andrew McCutchen who rocked it and went up, and
Right.
then even Bryce Harper. But then if you look prior to COVID was Javi Baez. And what do we all think of Javi Baez since?
Trash. But hey,
Exactly.
good job,
So
Detroit.
so I that's my thing. It's like what is going to happen with Otani? Now there has been a few that have gone up, but the odds are they've all been going down. So that's what I'm basing my skeptic and my I'm scared to see this happen, but I'm excited for it because just like the show last night dropped in, like today I saw was like hey free Otani card 99 drop go get it.
Like,
Yeah.
so I think number one, yes, there, for everyone who followed the Madden curse growing up, which some people still believe in, some people still don't. Do I think there's something to the MLB The Show cover curse? Maybe, because even last year they had Tatis Jr. on the cover. He gets hurt in the beginning of the season. People would think his season's done. He comes back, has an amazing season, but gets hurt again. Avoids two surgeries, but then his whole entire team, which was highly favored to win the NL West or at least be in it, ended up what, third place? Not even in the
Nine,
wild,
yeah.
not even in the wild card discussion, right? And so for Otani, of course, as an Angel fan, I would have that fear. However, we got to think big picture. We got to think of selling copies of this game and everything. And he is the face of baseball. He's the most recognizable. He is the reigning AL MVP. He's probably at this point, I would say, I can't think of anyone else. He's probably the most famous baseball player in
Right
the
now,
world.
yeah.
Yeah, at least right now in the world today. And I think it's great because he's becoming what we said he was going to become, which is the face of baseball. And he's becoming such a great like
Ambassador.
ambassador for like international and just like for all over. So I think with him being not only I believe no, he's not the first Angel because Mike Trout's been on the cover, right?
No, Mike Trout has not been on the
So
cover.
he's the first Angel to be
He
on the
is.
cover and the first Asian player or of Asian descent to be on the cover. I think that's an amazing feat.